Hello and welcome. Today we're checking out Help Will Come Tomorrow. This is a camp survival game being developed by Arclight Creations. Came out just a couple days ago. I'll have links, of course, below. So what's going on here is we've, well, the year's 1917. We have this whole, the Bolshevik Revolution, all that stuff sort of going on here in Russia. And we are just some of the unfortunate ones of that event. We're on a train. We'll see an intro here. And we're sort of lost in the woods. There's 4 of us. And we have to do what we can to survive and build a camp and make our way through this. Now, each time we play the game, we get different characters, and they all sort of have their own story. So a big part is knowing your character's story and how they get along with the other folks and what they're best at. And anyway, let's try this thing out and see what's going on here with a new game. We can do passenger difficulty, easy, medium, or hard difficulty. We'll go with medium. Optimally balanced experience. Sure, let's try it out. And now, no matter how much I mess with my audio settings, this intro is incredibly loud, so I'm going to turn it down here so it doesn't blow up anyone's ears other than mine. Alright, let's meet our 4 survivors. Barely escaped death. Can you hear the shots? They're killing other survivors. This is a replay from Zemiansky Square. The Tsar supporters opening fire to the proletarians. I'm talking nonsense. They're just thugs and deserters. Don't talk so loudly because they'll hear us. We're a very long way. I think we can take a rest here, and the snow will cover our footprints. Okay, so no, I gotta look at what's going on here. All right, so here's our camp. We got 4 survivors. There's several different ones in the game. I've opened it up a couple different times, each time with different group of people. Now they all sort of have their own story. We can see old Dmitri here. He is of the aristocracy. There's 3 different groups, and he's got different traits. We'll learn along the way. He's apparently distrustful. You can see his health, his morale, all that. His relationship with the other folks. He clearly does not trust her at all, but he's got a bit of a friendship with her. And also his story, which we'll learn as things go along. He looks like a higher-ranking officer. We've also got Maria, who's a revolutionary, which explains why they don't get along. And you can see all her traits as well. We don't actually know any of her traits or anything much until we'll see it. She doesn't think too highly of his friendship, but he thinks a lot of hers. We've also got Sergei here as neutral, and same thing, a sturdy boy. And we've got Grigory, who is also neutral. And smell of appearance of this gentleman, you think the shortage of moonshine can worry him more than the disaster in the frost. Now, I'm not sure. Last time I did have this guy last time, and he was a bit of an alcoholic. I'm not sure if that's always the same, if the stats are always the same, or if it's randomized each time. Anyway, we've got a few things in camp here. We've got a bit of foodstuffs. We got some beans, some water, some vodka. We got a bit of string and some rags, and no tools yet. Now, as we go into this, we can venture out into the world and go scour for things and bring it back to camp. But I think for our first night, what we need to do is just get these snow piles, which are covering up our campfire, for instance. We'll let this guy get to it. And we're going to go ahead and uncover this snowbank. And by doing that, we'll get some supplies that we can use for other things. We'll eventually get to craft things. We'll get like a health bench, and we'll get all kinds of things eventually. Alright, so we have ourselves a solid campfire. Now, we can upgrade this thing if we want to make it into... Well, actually, we can just have an open spot. We can make a makeshift or a solid campfire if we want right now, and it'll go into new things. A solid one, you can see, is just... you get a full set of components. The quality is high. People watching this will get a work increased bonus, a buff. And this one, I think it needs to be repaired more often. Let's see if we have enough for this thing. We got some sticks with us, and we've got some rocks. Oh, yeah, we can do it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a solid campfire right now. This is going to take us either 3 action points for one guy to do it, or 1 each action point if we have 2 people working on it. So we'll let him do it, and we'll bring in the kid. And these guys don't like each other. So maybe we bring in, I think the kid and this guy are both neutral. No, they don't like each other either, but they're going to get over it. Anybody like each other? What about you and her? No, not fond of you. Nobody likes each other. What about you two? I better work with someone else. You know, get over it. All right, so these two are going to go and get this campfire made. Using 1 action point each. You can see they each have 3 action points. So let's build this thing up. And get to working on this. Now, as we build things and as they work together, we'll learn some things about them. You can see things popping up. They seem to like each other. People are chatting. Things are going up. We can see she is weak. We learn a new thing about her. She also, apparently, is a good cook. She gains action points, regains action points while cooking, or has a chance to. Alright, so now we have a basic campfire. All it does is basically just provide heat. We can also do some fraternization if we want to around here. We can upgrade it if we want to make a small water filter. We can put a pot in there to cook some food up. We got some seats to have little benches for us to sit at. Maybe not tonight. Another thing I want to do, though, is we want to make sure we get a campfire started. And so we'll toss some pine needles on there and get the thing going up to a little bit. Now, we've got a visibility up here. Basically, we're trying to hide here. We don't want to be seen, so we don't want to go too crazy with that. We want to keep the morale up, however. So we're going to go toss a couple more pine needles in there just to keep it, you know, a little bit. And with our remaining action points, we'll go clear off. We got a shelter spot over here. We'll clear that thing off. We'll let him go handle that. Take care of that for me, buddy. And if we can, I don't think we have enough materials to get that thing made yet. I think what we'll do for this first night is just sort of clear out some snow because we're getting all kinds of things. This guy has a short attention span. When he performs the same action the 2nd or 3rd time on a given day, they reduce the morale this way. Okay, so don't let him do the same thing over and over again. So no more snow clearing for that guy. Okay, we can make a simple lining, which is basically just a bunch of boughs, pine needles that we're throwing down to make a bed, essentially. We just sort we have 6. We need 10. We can click here and see what we've got, but we don't have enough. Let's go and let's just clean up all the snow as much as we can for the first day. I'm going to let you handle this one. Getting a little sleepy out of that. Losing an action point, but he found some roots. We found some clay. That's it. Same thing. We don't have enough to build up this thing yet, but we can get the snow cleared out. And a workshop, which is over here. We're going to let this guy handle it. And same thing. This is a workshop. We can build the thing up. Each different tiers of workshop we can make. There's like, we start out with like just the basic workbench. Once we get it made, all these materials here, we can make fabric altercation. Then we can go into doing game flaying. It says lock, but it tells us what it is. This one allows us to make bows and harpoons and fishing rods. This is metal workshop, and then it kind of goes up as we put effort into it. Now we still have an action. Let me go to the campfire. Can we do a like a fraternization? Improve the relationship of 2 characters? Yeah. Like how about her and him? You guys don't like each other? Well, you know what? Get over it. Let's talk. I'm going to chat it up and see if we can get them to like each other a little more. Morale's going up? Excellent. Excellent. Everyone's out of points, so we can't use this thing anymore. We can take a look, though. Do you feel better about him? You do a little bit. 30, 40, friendship. Credits, 30. You really don't like this guy, though. We should have you work with him, I guess. We also got some things over here. So, he twisted his ankle, apparently. We'll get a bandage for that if we can. After a few days, he'll start to limp permanently if we don't take care of it. We've got, she's in shock, so she loses morale while she's doing anything. And she's also a bit hungry. We've got, what's your name here? Sergey, who is in shock as well. He's also hungry, and he's tired. And then we've got Grigory, who is drunk and thirsty. So now this is where we go and take care of our people. We got a few hungry folks. They're not real hungry, but we got this edible root. It'll probably cause indigestion. Well, you know what? You're hungry. Have some roots. Well, she says. Well, I say, eat it. Oh, we just gave him some roots, but we just found out he has an iron stomach. You know, just almost anything. I actually had him last time too, but he did get indigestion last time I gave him stuff. He didn't have that stat. So I guess it does randomize a little bit. And then this guy's a little bit thirsty. He's not terribly thirsty, but I'm going to go ahead and give him a bit of water. Let's go. Take care of that. We'll see if we can keep him topped up here. All right, so I think it's a good time for a rest. It's really all we can do. This guy has 1 action, but there's nothing really I can really do with the guy. So we're just going to go past the night. And then we're going to move into the next stage of the game. So this is the camp survival part. Now we're going into the relationship building part of the game. Or the relationship and quest part of the game, I suppose. Now we can chat it out. Like, let's see what he's all about. Talk about making a better shelter. Maybe wait for the patrol. tell a drunk tale, crash and slaughter. Let's talk about what just happened. First off, we were saved from the disaster and avoided a slaughter. It's unthinkable. Do you know if anyone else has survived? It took us by surprise. It was a well-organized operation. Attackers had dynamite and used it not only to derail the train, but also to blow up the car in which the war veterans were traveling. They knew where to hit. And then they shot the survivors without mercy. If someone has survived, they probably holed up in the woods as we did. We must stay together until help arrives. In the middle of the Siberian taiga, without appropriate clothes and food, survival by thugs going after us. How much longer can we survive in these conditions? 1-2 days at most. In that case, let's hope that help will come tomorrow. Roll the title screen. All right, let's talk about. Let's seek a better shelter. That might be a good idea. I have an idea. Tracks on this section have been built recently, and there's a few dozen versts there that should be a hut of workers who were cutting down the railroad ties. Perfect idea. So we just have to explore the area within a dozen versts, right? Oh, he's a jerk. Okay. Explore it yourself if you want to. If you raised a finger to do a decent job, you might know what that's worth. Checking the tracks. Oh yeah, you get them. There are no loggers' huts by the tracks. But there are markings for the commissioners. The mile marking on one of those ties should tell us where to look for the workshop. Renegades could already. No, now you're talking. Let's check the tracks immediately. Such a forest hut will not only be a better shelter, but probably some equipment has been left in it. Why are you talking about it just now? You were a jerk a second ago. I talk all the time, but nobody's listening to me. Oh, sad. Okay, we got a quest. The woodcutter's marks. Look for the woodcutter's markings on the railway decks. Will do. So now, at the end of each night, we get sort of a running tally of how everyone is feeling about themselves. We're sitting around a campfire, chatting it up. It's a terrible, terrible time, but, we're chatting it up, I guess. It makes us feel a little better. So there's our end-of-day summary, and then we go into the next day. We've learned that Mustache is a perfectionist who prefers to do things precisely. Quality of their construction is higher and often gains credit. While the morale increases when making solid structures, unfortunately, morale drops during the makeshift action. So make sure whenever we make something, we use... If he's going to make something, he makes something the good thing, not the lousy thing. Okay, day 2. Now, we can go outside. So before we do anything, I think we need to go for a bit of a hike. Some people are a bit hungry. You got a big hunger going on right now. Let's go find some things. This guy's got an iron. You know what, buddy? Have a root. That's something. It sure is. It didn't help your hunger anyway, but it's okay. Tummy's a rumbling, she says. Have some beans. Are you? Yeah, you are. There you go. She got her out of the orange into the black. All right, so let's go to an expedition. So here's our map. It's always the same map. I'll point out. What's out there is a bit different. So let's send an expedition here. We got 2 people that are going to go. We're going to bring... she's weak, so maybe not her. But we send that guy and the kid. Sure, they can kind of get along. If we had a knife or anything, we could give it to him or one of them and send him out. We don't have anything, so let's send him out. We can give him clothes also at some point. But now we got to go figure out where we're going to go. So our job is to go look for the woodcutter's markings on the railway tracks, which we know. I know where the tracks are down this way. There's water up north, though, and water is very important. Let's go finish that quest, though. So let's go walk down here. And each tile we go in, we can search. You can also see when I look around the danger zone of the areas around here. We got an event coming up. All right, a swarm of nasty flies encircles you, biting severely in the exposed part of the body. When you were traveling by train, you heard warnings of taiga people such as warnings of the taiga people about such a swarm. But apparently, at this time of year, bugs should not breed anymore. Well, the flies apparently don't know the calendar. You run away as fast as you can. Well, that's not what I wanted. Didn't mean good at all. Okay, let's go ahead and head to the train here. So we get a risky spot or a dangerous spot. I don't know which is worse. We're going to go to the risky. All right, you get into the tracks. In fact, some of the railway decks, there are signs you have talked about earlier. You find information about the type of wood and date of felling, as well as the names of the inspectors, sometimes even vulgar signs of the employees. Recent dates indicate felling west of the place where you are. However, felling doesn't have to mean the place where the woodcutters slept. They certainly cleared wood from the whole area, and they could have their shelter even a few verses away. Let's look for more information for the workshop. Okay, there it is. There are burn direction and distance markings on one of the decks. You must look for a workshop about a half-day's march northeast of your current camp. Great. If the hut is away from the tracks, then maybe it has escaped the attention of the renegades. Anyway, you think the thugs are sticking to the area south of the wreck. Got it. Okay, so somewhere up northeast, there is apparently a cottage we want to go find. Now, another thing, also, the longer we are away, the more chances are that we get lost, which we don't want to get lost, obviously. I guess we don't want to go south either. So let's go head up to there. Average difficulty chances. Burn some action points there. Let's go ahead and search here. And we found some things. We got all kinds of things. Some sticks, some canvas, some scrap metal, some psychedelic mushrooms, some moss. Take all of that stuff. Okay, let's just kind of run around the camp here. Ooh, we have some hunters. There's some. That's the bad guys. We know they're over there. They move. I think they move every day. They bounce around, so we don't want them to find us. Obviously, take all that stuff. Let's bounce up this way where it's nice and easy, and search the area. We've got a few more things. Some mushrooms, some moss, some more needles. Okay, we'll go one more up here. How are we doing? Another search. There's some water. We got lots of berries there. I'll take all that stuff. Let's go one more. Okay, goes our action points. Let's search here. Okay, at the river. Reach the river that you have seen from the train windows before the crash. The riverbed is wider than you expected. It could be the Selenga or some important influent of it. Although water is still flowing in the middle, most of the surface is covered with shuga and fallen snow slush, which form solid ice at the banks. All ideas about escaping that seemed good by the fire now seem dubious. Let's check the chance of floating the raft. What do we think of that? We're getting cold here. You walked along the bank in both directions far enough to look beyond the bends to see how the flow of the river. It doesn't look good. Straight sections of the current is still visible, but on the bends there are piles of ice floes. Sailing on a raft would involve the need to constantly chop down the way and watch out for the shallows, so as not to end up in the icy river. It's even more dangerous than traveling on foot along the tracks. There's one positive side of this trip. Getting to know the shoreline will definitely help you orient yourself during later expeditions. Let's check the ice strength. It's getting cold. Carefully approach the edge of the least steep place. At this time of year, the ice doesn't bind the entire width of the river, but it looks quite solid at the shore. At least it doesn't crack after a stone is thrown. However, there is no reason to check its strength. You can see that the coastal cover does not stretch along the entire length of the river, but only accumulates in the bends and places with a slower current. The sleigh trip would end after a few dozen arshins. However, there's still a third option, crossing the opposite bank of that river. You must discuss it with the group at the fire. It's worth coming back here if you make a fish trap because the omuls are still feeding in the shallows. Okay, well, we learned something. All right, so we've got a little bit of time left. We could do another search actually in this same spot, and we can see since we've actually we haven't actually done a proper search, but we can see what we can find in these spots as we search them. So let's go search here. We got one action point left. Let's use it. We found one thing of water and some moss. Take all that stuff. Oh, I can't. I'm all full on stuff, aren't I? Well, I want the water. What do I not want? Maybe the poisonous mushrooms. No sane person will eat it, at least not in the first place. He could eat it. I'm going to leave those mushrooms behind, though. Dump those. I do want the water, though. I'd like to have the clay also. I'm not sure I care about the moss. I want the clay that badly. I think we're good. We got a bunch of rocks. We'll use rocks instead of clay. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead back home. Put all that stuff back to camp. All right, so back to camp here. We can send another expedition out. We could send both those two out also if we wanted to. Which we may do. We go see if we can find that woodcutter's camp. But before we do much of anything, we got to go see if we about building a shelter. So we got a simple lining, which we can do makeshift or solid. Makeshift just takes 10 pine needles. Well, we have enough pine needles. I'm not sure we should be squandering this. You can see what we have as far as material. We can either use rags or canvas. We actually don't have enough of either of them to do that. So let's just do a makeshift one, I think, for now. We'll make sure we don't use what's-his-face. We'll let you finish this one up, buddy. And just make a... we'll let, actually, you two do this one. They don't want to work with each other. Get over it. Go ahead and make myself a makeshift spot. He's a perfectionist, I think, right? Mustache. They aren't getting along very well. I think that was a minus as well. Oh, we found out he's a bit lucky. A bit of luck can get you out of many troubles. Yeah. Okay, so now we can go in the next one. We can get a simple cover on this thing. Each time we do this, it sort of adds to our rest that we get every night and cold and all that sort of stuff. We can get an isolated bed. Some blankets might be nice to have. If we had some material, we could do blankets. We don't have it. I don't think I can do any of these things. I have the wood. Do I have the material? I do. I could do a bed. Two people can rest in the shelter at the same time during the day. maybe. Yeah, why not? I want to do the workshop also, but let's... Cover provides everyone in the camp with a bit of wind protection. Which might be good to have also. I don't think I have enough for that. We can make rocks and a bit of... Oh, we do. Can I do something besides... Can I do the clay? I do. Okay, okay. So we can do that. I'm just going to do makeshift. Clay and a bit of pine needles. And he's all worn out, so he can't work on this thing. But he can... Oh, he's a perfectionist. You know what? She's going to do it all by herself. She's weak, but she's got it. Put a cover on that thing. Oh, looking nice. Okay, everyone thinks highly of her. She's a mender. Character has a chance to recover AP from the repair of camp structures. Nice. And everyone got a big thumbs up for her. She's also a tailor. Oh, you do everything. Okay, speaking of tailor, I want to check out this workshop over here. We got one guy who can do it. So the workbench, he wants to do a good job of it, which ain't going to happen. Yeah, we don't have enough supplies of anything for this. We have the rocks, but we need more wood and 2 string to make this thing up. Yeah, we need more wood before we can build up our little workbench here. So I think what we'll do is we'll toss a little bit more wood on the fire. We'll toss a couple needles on there just to bump it up just a bit. And I guess we'll toss some food around. We have... Do we eat the bugs first? We eat the berries first. We'll give some berries to him. And she can have some. We'll give berries to everybody. Everybody have berries. Everyone's a little bit hungry. He's still a bit... yeah, go ahead. And I probably shouldn't be squandering this stuff. Looks like I am. There you go. You still hungry? And then he is thirsty, which I got one thing of water, which I could give. I'm going to hold on to it, though, in case when he gets real thirsty. We'll see how that goes. He's shivering. Can I arrest somebody in here? Anyone need it? Just take an action. There you go, buddy. Get your ankle fixed up. Need to find a bandage. All right, he's got action points. I should probably do something with him, though. Can we do this thing? Solid bed. We can make it out of... yeah, we can make it out of that. Out of the canvas and the sticks. No, not quite. All right. So I won't do the bed just yet. Let's just do a little bit of fraternization. No, it's that uses things up. All right, we're done. Could have just set the guy out alone, I guess, to go look for that camp. Maybe I should have. Okay, so nighttime again. Let's talk. Let's do Maria's introduction. Maria, let's talk about you. I'm begging you, help me. We must go back there tomorrow to look for Petrushia. Piet, is he your brother? He was a baggage handler? He is. He is a baggage handler. God, I've left him there all alone. Maria, there's no chance that he survived the catastrophe. And even somehow the bandits pulled him out of the wreck and did not kill him. By looking for him, we put ourselves in great danger. Will you leave an innocent boy to die? Oh, he's heartless. He's no pangs of conscience, either them or for the others. Better him than me. Why should I have my ears frostbitten looking for some brat? Oh, man, come on, buddy. We'd definitely like to help you in such a situation. Surely we can do something now. First of all, you need to save your strength. You won't help him dead or sick. This remark applies to all of us. Let's gather strength and avoid fighting. Let's not be conspicuous. Okay. We got one more. To the other side of the river, right? That's our big quest, I think. Now that we explored the river, we must decide what to do next. What's next? After all, we finally let go of this path. Relax, we already know that a raft or sleigh down the river is a misguided idea, but we still have another option. Upstream? Or straight to the grave? No, it's about crossing the other bank. There shouldn't be any renegades there. After all, we will still set up a new camp and be able to burn fire without fear. We'll still sit in the woods like this until March. Have mercy. After all, we still have some hope for help here, and the bears will come after us. At the most. You're probably right. No, morale's gone down. No, it was a good idea. Maria, stop it. Alright, let's go find that woodcutter's camp. Then we can call it a day. Everyone thinks highly of this. You think highly of everyone, eh? Okay. Morale's going down a bit more. Alright. Northeast. So, this guy is starving now, so let me give you some, I'm gonna give you those because you got the iron stomach. Oh, you got indigestion. Okay. There you go. Have some more. Everyone have some. Just don't ever get indigestion, please. Yeah, there you go. You're good. You are really thirsty. I'm gonna give you that thing of water. There you go. That'll fix you up. And I gotta get you a bandage if I can. So, let's go out. And somewhere to the northeast, we're gonna go build up a party. And we're going to bring... She's weak, but we'll bring her along with us. And we'll bring this guy. Wish I had a tool for you guys, but I don't. So they don't like each other, but let's go. Let's go bounce up this way. And go ahead and search along the way. We might as well. Insignificant dangers here. We got some mushrooms and some bugs. Up here. We'll search one more time. I don't use up all my action points, but we'll keep on searching here. Ooh, some a nice branch. Okay. Average danger. There we go. That's where we want to go. We just lost 2 action points. Let's just go straight there and get the thing over with. Make sure we can make it there. Reach the place indicated by the woodcutter's markings. Further north, the road is blocked by a rocky cliff from which an avalanche probably rolled down quite recently. Doesn't look good. Decided to go down to the covered valley. Probably a makeshift road led here, which was used by construction workers. Possible that on the other side of the massif, there is a river harbor where heavy equipment was unloaded. Unfortunately, the pass is now full of snow, frozen earth, and broken trees. At the edge of the landslide, you can see the remains of a wooden wall and an overturned chimney. No one will rather stay here for the night. Approach the ruins, it looks as if an avalanche easily moved the cottage by a few or even several dozen arshins. Foundations must be deep under the snow, and there's no chance to get to them. Maybe something will be found in the shallow part at least. Do we search or get out before the snow slides down more? No, we can search. We're fine. How we doing? Digging in a landslide can be dangerous, but what is not dangerous in your situation? You remove the heaps of side where you can stand stably and check the buried ruins. Surely you can dig out a lot of solid wood for the construction of the camp or just for fuel. The area does not look safe enough to be worth moving here. You'll have to organize several expeditions. The logs are too heavy to take everything at once. Maybe we'll even find some tools, clothes, or supplies in the next digging up. Maybe. There's a couple of things, hunks of wood. Let's search again. She's very tired. What do we got? We got all kinds of stuff. Arrows, some more vodka. We got a bandage. Nice for his... Maybe that's for his thing? Heavy bleeding. It says 2 bandages, actually. Some charcoal, some rags, some bones. Take it all. There's 1 arrow. We actually can't take the arrow unless we leave something behind. Can I not stack these bandages? No, I can't. I need the bandages. I kind of want the root. We got some of those. I guess we could... Do I need the arrows? I have a feeling I will eventually. Let's leave the, we'll leave the root. We'll grab some arrows. Okay. Alright, let's get it back home before we get lost. Okay. Now, we could do another expedition, or we start building things up, which I think is what we need to do. Okay, this little workbench over here, we can send in the perfectionist to build this thing up. I think we have enough wood now. Can you do that now? Yeah, for sure you can. Yeah. Structure. Out of sticks. And we got enough string. Let's build it. You and you. Everything's better than working with you. It's going to hurt the camp morale. Get out of there, fine. Get him in there. You okay with this guy? No, everyone hates each other. Get over it. Probably the wrong idea here. We got to get something done. Alright, so this allows us to do a few things. Has a chance to recover AP from resource processing actions. Oh, okay. A hewer. And this guy's a butcher. The character has a chance to regain AP from skinning animals. Excellent. My little test game I did, I actually caught a deer and skinned it at a game flaying point that I made here at the workshop, which is our next step. Make one of those, cut up some animals. We can also make tables to make bows and all that. Right now, we can use it to build knives, which is how I got the deer in the first place. Use that, some sticks. Can you whip one of those up for me, buddy? You're out of action points. You can. Whip me up a knife real quick. There we go. Nice. And we can also do some rags and strings and ropes and all that if we want also. We got a bandage here. I'm guessing this guy I'm pretty sure he needs it. Twisted ankle. Need to restrain it after a few days. So I'm guessing that's what this is for. It says for bleeding. It's not bleeding. So I don't know if we build, like, maybe we need to do something over here for him. And then we can fix him. Might be what it is. Unlocks gather strength. I'm not sure. Anyway, this is a good place to call it today. So this is help will come tomorrow. It's available all over the place. I'll put the GOG link below. GOG provided this key. Thank you, GOG. But it's all down there below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.